Hello and welcome back to Today in the NBA, where today we're going to have a look at the Brookyln Nets last season, some of the expected outcomes for this season, and go over their playoff run last year. Now, unfortunately, doing the stats for this team is really hard because, as we all know, they made a big trade around the deadline. Now, the regular season stats are really hard to look at for this team because they have been a little bit tainted, as the team is not as it was at the start of the year. They traded away both KD, Kyrie, got big returns. So instead of looking at the regular season stats for them, I'm going to be looking at the playoff stats for them. Now, to start off with the offensive rating in the playoffs, they were shocking with 102.5. I know the game does slow down in the playoffs, so this will have decreased the number, but still, next year I could maybe see them being about the same place, 15th in offense, not great, not bad, but I would see it more being 114 maybe. Now, the defensive rating in the playoffs was a bit better, but still not much, 114.3. It's not great, and considering what I said before in the playoffs, the defense is much better and the game slows down, then this is not amazing. But still, I think next year I could see them being top 10 in defense with maybe 110 defensive rating. Now, looking at the Nets roster for next year, it's not bad, with Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Nick Claxton starting, Dennis Smith Jr., Lonnie Walker IV, Royce O'Neal, Ben Simmons, and Day'Ron Sharpe off the bench, to go along with Cam Thomas, Derek Whitehead, and Noah Clowney, who were all drafted last year, as well as a little bit of Darius Baisley maybe. Now, the one problem with this roster that does prevent them from being a contender or a playoff team is the lack of star power. Their best player is definitely Mikal Bridges, who did average 26, 5, and 3 for them last year on very good defense. Great efficiency too, 48, 38, 89 splits. But still, I don't really think that he's going to be able to keep up with this. I could see him maybe scoring 23 a night, dropping off a little bit in his efficiency, but still, I do think it's a pretty solid roster, and I do not want to see them making a trade for, say, a Damian Lillard. This, however, doesn't change how the roster's going to look on the defensive end. They have great perimeter defenders in Mikal Bridges and Dorian Finney-Smith. Cameron Johnson also being pretty solid on that end, along with Royce O'Neal. Ben Simmons was a great defender, but I'm not too sure how he's going to hold up this year. And Dennis Smith Jr. last year was an incredibly underrated defender, being really good at contesting shots. And of course, Nick Claxton and Noah Clowney to hold up the show down low. Nick Claxton proved to be a great shot blocker last year and someone who could definitely switch onto the perimeter as needed. Noah Clowney definitely struggled in Summer League and might have to spend a few games with the Long Island Nets, which is the Brookyln Nets G League affiliate team. Derek Whitehead in Summer League was really good. I could definitely see him receiving small forward rotation minutes maybe. Now, to rate the Brookyln Nets offseason, I'm going to give them a B to a B-. That's a pretty average score because they didn't really do much. They didn't get worse, but they didn't really get better. They did add Dennis Smith and Darius Baisley, both players who will give them a good bench depth, and they drafted both Noah Clowney and Derek Whitehead. I like the Derek Whitehead draft, as it does give them a player that has some high potential to be maybe a Mikal Bridges level player, but the Noah Clowney draft did seem a little bit weird to me, as he's a great defender and that is not something that this team needs. I would have liked to see them package those two picks together and maybe move up a little bit, maybe take Atlanta's pick, try to get a Kobe Buffkin, or even if they moved up just one pick and picked up Cameron Whitmore. That would have been a great thing to see, and Cam Whitmore would have had an amazing season, maybe even have been in contention for Rookie of the Year. Now, one player that I would really like to see the Nets sign is Christian Wood. He's a great player, not the greatest defensive player, but this team definitely has the infrastructure that they could put around him as to where it would sort of be negated. He's sort of a player that could be maybe their second or third option, be a great pick and roll partner with Mikal Bridges and Spencer Dinwiddie, and just be a great impact player on this team. Another player that I would really like to see them sign is Kelly Oubre Jr. They could get both of these guys, probably not together, but separately. They could get them on the non-taxpayer mid-level, which is, I think, $12 million, and that's definitely what these guys will be happy with. Kelly Oubre is a great scorer. He's a solid defender. He's sort of inefficient, but if he does get more opportunity and does get more spacing around him, I could definitely see his efficiency going up. Now, my predictions for the Nets for next year, I think they're going to end up as the 13 seed with 30 wins and 52 losses. I think that Mikal Bridges and Nick Claxton will both get on the all-defensive teams, However, I don't think anyone from this team is going to be making an all-star team. Just combined with them being not a great team and probably the lack of efficiency from their best scorers, I don't think that it looks good for any all-stars from the Nets. Besides, I think a high lottery pick could really help this team up. Maybe it jumps up to number 1 and they select, I don't know, Martas Bezuelis or something, give them a really good scoring option, someone that could be a great ball handler. Who knows? It still remains to be seen how good this team's going to be, and I definitely think that they could fluctuate anywhere from the 9th or 10th seed all the way down to the 15th seed, believe it or not. It just depends on the health of this team and the health of all the other teams in the East. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you all in the next one.